Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 30 would like to present our mini project for computer network. My name is Nurul Sabirah binti Rahim. For requirement 1, we need to assign all device with IP address. So this is all the IP address that we will assign to the device and or the PC.
My name is Maryam Nadzirah and we will see for configure VLAN. In this project, we will configure VLAN in every host of HQ network, which is switch 1, switch 2 and switch 5. Each switch need to create VLAN red, VLAN blue and VLAN orange that has stated in question. Now, to assign port to each VLAN that has created, we need to choose port that is connected to switch. For example, in switch 2, port that connected to it is port FA01, 02, 03, 04 and 05. And to assign each port to each VLAN, we need to assign as stated in the question. For example, for FA02 is assigned for VLAN red and FA03, 04 and 05 is assigned as VLAN orange. We can see by enter show VLAN brief. As you can see, it displays port that is assigned to each VLAN. Now we will see for mode trunk. Before that, mode trunk is created when there are switch that is connected with another switch. In this project, switch 1 is connected to switch 5 and switch 2. We need to do it for each switch. For example, in switch 5, port FA01 is assigned as trunk. To know whether it has successfully assigned, we can enter show interface trunk, and as we can see, there is a port FA01 that is assigned as mode trunk.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Izyan Nadhirah. For requirement 4, to configure trunking interface on router HQ, first we have to create 4 virtual interface called sub-interface on port first interface 0.0. At each virtual interface, use the encapsulation.1q command to apply a VLAN ID and assign the IP address from the VLAN to the sub-interface. We have to repeat the process for each sub-interface.
Hello everyone, my name is Aisar. So I will be explaining the requirement 5, which is the router configuration with suitable routing protocol and access control list ACL. So as you can see here, there are three routers which are branch 1, HQ and branch 2. All of these router have been configured with router RIP version 2 for each network. So here network 172.30.0.0, and then here let's see here for this router, yes, network 172.30.0.0, 192.168.30.0, and then now auto summary, and then last but not least, router branch 2. Okay. So here you also have network 172.30.0.0 version 2, and then no auto summary. So the router connected to each other. So I can prove here by pinging each other, by they are pinging each other. So here branch 1 to HQ, the ping are successful, and then moving on to branch 1 and then branch 2. So the ping is also successful meeting each other. Okay. And then we're moving on to ensure all the hosts in the branches network can communicate between each other, which is the purple network and green network, and then only to this orange server right here. Okay, so first we are going to test the ping between themselves. So first PC1 to PC2, the ping is successful, and then PC1 to PC3 successful, and then PC1 to purple server. Okay, and then we are going to ping the purple network to the host in green network. Okay, so first PC1 to G1 successful, then PC1 to G2 successful, then PC1 to G3. Okay, so let me test. Okay, successful. PC1 to G2 successful, and then PC1 to G3 successful, and then PC1 to G4. Okay, wait, let me try that again. Okay, PC4 successful. Okay, and then we are going to test the connection between PC1 and orange server. Okay, so ping. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, so that the host in purple network can ping the orange server, which is the web server in this project. And one more, we are going to try to ping G1 to the orange server. Okay, that's successful. Okay, next moving on. So we are going to go through the route for each host in this branch network that they go through. Okay, so first show IP route. Okay. Okay, so here as we can see, this is the router branch 1 to HQ using this network, and then this one is the purple network, which is 172.30.64.0, and then for this one the network is connected via HQ router, which is 172.30.0.2. Okay, same goes with here. The network for all the HQ network is connected via HQ router, and then this is all the sub interface for the HQ router. Okay, so moving on. All the hosts in red network and blue network are able to communicate between themselves, which is the host in this red VLAN can this is red VLAN, and then the host in this blue VLAN can communicate with themselves. Okay, so first we are going to test the M4 ping to the M1. So as we can see here, the ping is successful between each other. We can test M4, which is host in the red VLAN, ping to the B1, which is the blue in the blue VLAN. So as we can see here, the ping is failed. Okay, and then we are going to try to ping the red host from red VLAN to this orange VLAN. Okay, wait. Okay, let me try that again. Orange VLAN. Okay, and then they can only the red VLAN and blue VLAN only can communicate between themselves in their own VLAN, and only can communicate with the orange server. Okay, so M4 to orange server, we get successful, and then from B1 to orange server, we also get successful ping. Okay. Okay, so moving on to the requirement 6, which is the DHCP configuration, DHCP server configuration for networks. So for this requirement, we have configured the purple server right here to give to provide the IP address for purple network host and the green network host with DHCP system. Okay, so as you can see here, the PC1 has been configured and with DHCP, PC2 also DHCP, and PC3 also DHCP. Okay, so to connect the purple server to retrieve the DHCP from this purple server to the green network, we configure the IP helper address, which is here at the interface which is the net 0/0. The IP helper address is we retrieve the IP address from the server, purple server, which is the IP address is 172.30.64.40, and then we also set up the same at branch 2. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the IP helper address 172.30.64.40, which is the purple server. Okay, so you can see here the green host is also the same IP address. We configure DHCP using the purple server, and then so on. So this is G2, and then G3 and G4. Okay. So before that, we configure the DHCP. So here we got two configuration, which is for the purple server, and then the green network and purple network. Okay, so moving on to the HQ network. here we configured two DHCP server and one web server. The two DHCP server we configured are in the red VLAN and the blue VLAN. So so you can see here, this is the configuration. We only configured one because only the red VLAN are configured as DHCP. Okay, and then okay, so as you can see here, the M4 is using DHCP, M3 is using DHCP, M6 is also using DHCP, and so as the others. And then one more is for blue VLAN, we also use DHCP for the blue VLAN. So as you can see here, this is using DHCP, and then this is also using DHCP.
My name is Afiffah binti Amin. So for the next requirement is requirement 7, which is we're going to set the DNS server, web server, and also mail server. So for web server, we've configured the orange server for it. So on the orange server, we've set up the IP addresses according to the question, which is 192.168.30 and 196. And then on the services, we've set both HTTP and HTTPS on, just to make sure that it works. And to test it out, we've chosen a random PC, and then we put on the URL for that. So apparently the website showed up, which means the web server has finally configured. So for the DNS server, we have configured the purple server, and on the purple server, which is on the services, and on the DNS, we've turned it on, and also we've insert the name, which is computernetwork.com, and save it as a record. And then on PC1, PC2, and PC3, we've configured the IP addresses, which is we've chosen the DHCP for it, so the DNS server will take the IP address from the server. So for mail server, we have chosen to configure it on purple server. So on purple server, we have turned on the services for email, and on email we have set the domain name, which is gmail.com, and also set up the user for PC1, PC2, and PC3. So after everything has been set up, we're going to test it out, which is we choose to send an email from PC1 to PC2, and turns out both PC1 and PC2 received the email, which indicates that the email server has finally been configured.
Next, for requirement 8, customize the home page. We have to view web page. Firstly, we can select any PC to open the web browser, then search web server IP address, which is 192.168.30.196, and then it will display all the web content, and then you can click the link which for group30.utem.edu.my, so it will view the group member picture with their name.